hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you on this July 11th, 2025, 7-Eleven day. We have it all for you for your rush hour ride to work. Are you working today on a Friday? I hope you're mailing it in. Either way, we got some tea for you. Bachelor conversation as Madison Pruitt says she'll be slapping her child. We'll get into it. Sheena Shea releases a bombshell in her upcoming memoir that she was cheated on by her man Brock while she was pregnant. And then Laura Owens extends her restraining order against Mike Maricini. And I don't have it mentioned down below, but we'll of course be talking about Blake Lively sending subpoenas to content creators. This is a very big deal, and it's pissing off a lot of people. They feel like it's actually infringing on their free speech. Then we'll be talking about Jeffrey Epstein as major podcasters, Andrew Schultz and Theo Vaughn, are turning on the administration that they voted for. And with that, we'll also talk about ICE and Mahmoud Khalil suing Donald Trump for $20 million after he was detained for 100 days and missed the birth of his firstborn son. All these stories and more. It all starts right now on The Rush. And what a day to be alive. I mean, truly, so much to get into. But let's just start it off with something not too... Oh, what is this? Bachelor alum plans to spank daughter during consequence of sin in a loving way? What is this, that trope? This hurts me more than it hurts you. Oh boy, Madison Pruitt, a Bachelor alum, shared her plans to spank her child during times of discipline. Now, I'm sure people will disagree with this. I just don't think corporal punishment works on children. I think it's just teaching them to slap and hit when they're angry. But I'd love to know your comments. I'll be posting this clip on my Instagram, The Rush Hour with Dave Neal, and on TikTok, D Neals. So leave a comment. Let me know. Is this a good way to parent? I've never even thought of slapping my 14-month-old. It sounds so sad. But if the Bible says so, I guess you hit it upside the head with the Bible. Is that what they want to do? All right, NFL's Najee Harris injures eye in fireworks accident. You know, the week following 4th of July, that's when we find out who blew a handoff. And it does happen. It's incredible to think you have the gift of God to be a skilled professional athlete, and you set a firework off and either blow your hand off or blow your eye off. I don't know how serious it is. I hope he's okay. Sustained an eye injury during a 4th of July fireworks celebration gone wrong. I mean, it always happens. Don't light fireworks. If I was like a Major League Baseball player, I would walk around with oven mitts on. I'm not doing any manual labor. These puppies are, look, I'm a professional podcaster, make my living doing this, and I've had to go to the doctor several times because my throat's going out. I can't have my throat going out. Can't let that happen. My throat is my athletic muscle and speaking of Laura Owens, we'll get to her in a second. But first, Sheena Shea says Brock cheated while I was knocked up. And listen, nobody knew about this. This is in her upcoming memoir. He cheated while pregnant. Now, I don't know the specifics. I do know she kind of got knocked up early on in the relationship. Was it defined? Were they officially together? I'm assuming so. But everyone called, of course, Sandoval the worst person in the world for, of course, his cheating on his longtime partner's best friend. Of course, it is terrible. But in this case, this is not good, but they're still together. So again, more on that story as it comes. So here we're going to get into the Laura Owens story, which sadly is a big deal. But first, let's go to Blake Lively. Blake Lively's team, Ezra Hudson from Mannett, Phillips & Phillips, LLP here, has sent this letter to many different content creators. Now, I haven't received it. It's very simple form letter. Hello, Google has received a subpoena for information related to your Google account in a case entitled Blake Lively et al. V. Wayfair Studios. Now, what's so scary about this is in the Laura Owens versus Clayton Echard trial, I actually tried to subpoena Google because of Chase J. Jones. Now, if you don't know, Laura Owens was faking being pregnant. She's charged with 7 felonies. She's what I believe to be a professional scam artist. At least, she's at least a hobbyist. I don't know what separates a hobbyist from a professional. But either way, she created this fake black man named Chase J. Jones. Again, we're talking about Laura Owens here. Created this fake black man to try to cancel Clayton over his dancing to a song that had the N-word in the song. He didn't sing it, but It was in the song. Anyway, I say all that because, oh, little me trying to subpoena Google, they don't even listen to me. They don't care. But clearly Ezra Hudson knows someone high up in the old Googs. So they say you can try to quash the subpoena. You got to respond by a certain date and time. Now, who's been subpoenaed? Several women. Now, I believe Popcorn Planet, Andy was subpoenaed. Candace Owens was subpoenaed. Although I don't know if I can confirm for certain that Andy was, because if Andy hasn't been, then it seems as only women have been subpoenaed, which is very bizarre. But our good friend Lauren was subpoenaed, and Lauren's like a kid sister to me. Don't mess with Lauren. I hope nobody loses sleep over this. What do they expect to find? I guess they think there's some coordinated campaign between Brian Friedman and all these content creators, which, by the way, is insane if that's what Blake Lively thinks. If she thinks everybody's part of this true crime community just because we're on Brian Friedman's payroll, are you kidding me? This ecosystem exists because this is modern journalism. This is how people are held accountable. There is an appetite of people online that want to see justice play out. We see this happen with Clayton Echard's case. We're seeing this now. We're seeing this with, all of the Karen Reed or whatever. I mean, there's Brian Kohnberg or whoever the hell, everybody. This is what happens, right? So Ashley Brianna, who, by the way, someone whose content I've very much enjoyed. She's like the PR specialist. And of course, Katie from Without a Crystal Ball, also fantastic. And of course, Lauren, we love, have been subpoenaed, which proves Lively has absolutely nothing, zero, zilch, nada for her so-called smear campaign. She's grasping at stars. Well, I will say, it does feel like it is a fishing expedition. So what could they possibly expect to find? These are the big questions. They're looking for a smoking gun, but it's a needle in a haystack, and they're not going to find it. There's nothing to be found. I haven't been subpoenaed, and I have emailed Brian Friedman in the past. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm full transparency. I emailed him trying to get an interview, you know what I mean? And I got a nice reply from his team saying, now's not the time type of thing. And it's like, that was kind of in the lull when things were kind of slow and they ramped back up. And I'm like, totally get it. For a while there, they were doing interviews. I believe he was doing maybe Billy Bush and TMZ. And I was like, hey, maybe I'll jump on. I'll be in LA. Maybe we can do a walk and talk. So anyway, that's it. You know what I mean? Like I've got no sources to hide. Although if I did have sources, I would protect them, but I certainly don't. And maybe that's why I haven't been subpoenaed. Without a Crystal Ball said, the subpoena is legit. My attorney is going to file a motion to quash because I'm a reporter. I have not been paid by anyone. I have not talked to anyone at Brian's firm or the parties. I'm reporting on a public story. I began my reporting after Blake Lively filed a lawsuit in federal court. Blake, get it through your thick head. You sued someone and we are reporting on what you file in court. Yeah, that's just... She really doesn't understand how it all works, which is like, maybe, I don't know if this is narcissism. I don't know if this is, Blake's been famous since her teen years. I don't know if she can't possibly fathom that people don't laugh at her jokes or like her. And again, I'm indifferent towards Blake. I truly am. I don't know her personally. Just calling balls and strikes, as it were. But as we look at this, it's just wild that Blake doesn't realize there's an appetite for this type of knowledge. Now, Ashley Brianna Eve, again, she's done great work sort of exposing how PR is used, how search engine optimization is used in the press to sort of push articles down and elevate new ones and things like that. She said, guys, I'm going to be moving on from covering this case, pop culture, after my last video that went up today. Not only is the stress around subpoenas not worth it, but I genuinely don't understand why creators come for each other. Yeah, first of all, I've got no time or energy to have beef with any content creators. I truly don't. Some content creators enjoy, maybe it's a drug. I don't know. It's like some people, they get kind of that high and it helps them focus by creating so much drama. I got a baby whose diapers need to be changed. I've got other things to do. So I'm totally with Ashley here that you don't need to be the story, right? Cover the story. Don't be the story. She said, I've only said nice things about others, shouted others out, supported others in any way I can. Other than that, I try to stay in my lane. Overall, this genuinely isn't worth it. I'm bummed out that she feels that way. But I understand. I wouldn't want anyone to have to deal with the stress. It must be scary to get a subpoena. I personally wouldn't mind at all if a subpoena came in this case, because I've been operating by the books and I assume everybody else has. I don't know one story of anybody who's doing something sketchy. Katie from Without a Crystal Ball here posted her receipt from Pacer, Public Access to Court Electronic Records. This is where you have to buy the court documents as they come in. She said, also, Blake, here is what I'm paying to Pacer for the past 3 months. This is all buying court records related to all of your cases. I'm paying to cover your case, not being paid by anyone. $4,700. That's a lot of paper. And by the way, it's not even paper, it's PDF files, but still, Katie's done a great job. I mean, she's exposed some big things. As they show here on this list in the It Ends With Lawsuits subreddit, we've got Ashley doing great work explaining the stupid PR games that Lively has been playing, how her team is trying to mess with SEO to shift public narrative. And then, of course, Without a Crystal Ball, found the Van Zandt subpoena. They've done a lot of good investigative work. Blake can't fathom that work that has been done just by independent third parties. I'm assuring folks out there that is the case. These are just people online that are justice oriented, and they've really crushed it. All right, coming up next, we got Laura Owens. She's extended her restraining order against Mike Maricini. I'll explain this story next. Let's be real. No one likes calling their insurance provider to see if their medication is covered, especially not for GLP-1s like Ozempic or Wegovy. Ro's Insurance Checker lets you know if you're covered for GLP-1s for free. If you're eligible and want to see if you're covered, all you have to do is submit your insurance card and Ro will take care of the rest. No paperwork, no negotiating, no waiting on hold. Ro members have support throughout the process. You'll have access to your provider on demand for any questions. So join the over 350,000 people who've trusted Ro to check their coverage for free. Go to ro.co/rushhour for your free insurance check. That's ro.co/rushhour to see if your insurance covers GLP-1s for free. Go to ro.co/safety for black box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications. And now back to the show. Well, if you didn't think Laura Owens could get any crazier, she has filed to renew her sham restraining order against Mike Maricini. If you're not caught up on this case, you got to take a deep dive. Laura Owens faked a pregnancy with the Bachelor Clayton Echard. Upon doing so, it made its way into the media. He called BS, and she tested little to no fetal DNA 3 or 4 different times with blood testing. And then it comes out that she did this sort of scam or ruse to Greg Gillespie and Mike Maricini, 2 other random men, possibly a 4th guy named Matt. And then there's other people she's ripped off too. But in this case, it's so sad because this guy, Mike Maricini, he's got a wife. He's got 2 young baby girls. Beautiful family. Nice guy. Got to meet him last year. Beautiful wife. They're the sweetest people. And every year, Laura Owens shoves it up his ass and refiles this restraining order. She claims he abused her. This guy, there is zero evidence whatsoever that he's done any of that. She's talked about it in a TEDx talk, which is still up on YouTube. They won't take it down. And we've actually found evidence on a laptop that has been verified through the proper, expert verification that she faked ovarian cancer, faked a whole bunch of things like an abortion, and actually faked the domestic violence. She used the same photo to send to Mike Maricini that she was having an abortion, to share that she was the victim of DV once he, of course, dumped her. So it goes on and on. It is so frustrating. This came out, and we covered this story yesterday. We had the breaking news. Order to renew DV restraining order expires July 10th. She filed again, and it's going to have to go to court. Now, he's going to have to spend thousands on an attorney, being quoted at $10,000 to $25,000 to defend himself, and probably still wouldn't even, win. Now, what's the big deal? Well, imagine he knows a guy who works in tech. You try to get a big job. Imagine trying to get a job at Google. You pass all of the right tests. You've got the great credentials, and then it comes down to doing the background check. What? There's a lady with a restraining order against you, a very severe one, we're going to go hire somebody else. I mean, You can't even fathom how much money this guy has probably lost over the years of this going on. It's a real sad day. And of course, our friends at Justice for Clayton Official, and again, of course, speaking for Justice for Clayton, but Mike, Greg, Sean, Matt, Dave, Gillespie, Woodnick, whoever the hell else you want. But he's got a hearing. It's going to be rescheduled. And, did a little Q&A here. Mike is represented. They have a ton of stuff on her charges, pleas in California. The HCG must be laced with hallucinogens if she's dumb enough to file against Mike right now. Yeah, she's already got Rachel Mitchell, county prosecutor, throwing the kitchen sink at her. 7 felony charges. And if there's any chance she's going to take a plea deal, she's going to have to admit to her crimes, and it just doesn't seem like she's doing that. So this was interesting. Her attorney, Josh, is trying to get an extension. And their response is the new filing is a sign Josh is trying every move he can because Laura is refusing a plea deal and he wants to avoid going to trial. The flip side is that dragging this out means it will cost more money for Laura, which she doesn't have. And I don't know if this attorney is going to have to represent her, even if the bills don't come in. But we know Chase Bank is suing Laura's dad, who is her landlord, right? I mean, I doubt she pays rent. Her father, Ron Owens, is being sued for $52,000 unpaid credit card. So it is an insane story. Of course, this is being made professionally into many different productions. This is being feasted upon by the Hollywood world of true crime. It's a slow process. It continues to play out. But we, our community, have been on the forefront of covering this. Every single move. We have had her on her heels, if not on her knees, to make sure that she doesn't do a move that isn't called out, scrutinized, and just, shut down. And here she is continuing to terrorize one of her victims. I mean, you hate to see it. Coming up next, we've got Theo Vaughn and Andrew Schultz, massive podcasters and stand-up comedians, no longer bending the knee to the president.